sense that humans have never been so capable of sharing and applying geographic knowledge and acting, understanding and acting together. This is a kind of platform which certainly will evolve into place. It's my sense, now is the time to act, to transform our organizations, to energize our organizations, to embrace these challenges in every way we can, to envision what's possible, to be creative, to share and learn. This isn't a little game I'm talking about. It's about designing and creating and planning a more sustainable future and a smarter world. I'll come back to this subject several times this morning and during the week, but I want you to remember it. I'd like to now shift gears, shift the subject to Esri's work, our work, and share with you some of the work that we are doing. This is about creating useful, Scott Morshouse's term, useful technology, and supporting our users. This is our main interest, it's our main mission. And we do so around this technology, ArcGIS. This is important to us. And it contains lots and lots of features and functions and tools that are probably quite interesting to all of you. You'll take a special interest in this. Oh, did they do that? Did we fix this? Yeah. But for a few minutes, as I go through this, I'd like you to think about the implications of the platform as a total in terms of empowering your organization entirely. ArcGIS is a complete web GIS platform. That means it uses web services as a system for managing and applying geographic information. This entire bundle of technology or system of technology is deployable on premises or in the cloud or some hybrid combination of them. It's fed by services, and these services can be accessed on anything, any device, in web browsers, and also desktops can be enriched. This entire technology is designed to support individuals, one at a time. And I know many of you here are one-person shops doing your best in small situations. It's also designed to support complete organizations. And as Lillian showed, it's beginning to move into communities of organizations and support that infrastructure as well. As I mentioned earlier, this platform enables multiple types of systems with a common platform. Systems of record keeping, transaction updates, systems of engagement, I'm connected, and systems of insight, exploring the data, creating understanding as an objective. And the beautiful piece of this is that these are in one platform, brought together, pulsing in real time. This has implications for organizations in terms of integrating the organization. And those of you in IT will instantly understand this doesn't require interoperability between various kinds of systems. No, it's a platform for understanding and integrating the organization. It's evolving rapidly, and I'll go through quickly what's occurring. And in all cases, I believe this is expanding your capabilities. We are moving from simply supporting client server to also supporting web services and apps. That has implications in terms of accessibility. I can access this knowledge. I don't have to be an expert anymore. We're moving from standalone desktops to connected desktops that are hydrated with information from others. From concentrating strictly on data models to concentrating on web maps and developing great information products and layers that we can share and use together. From static data to real-time data, from single server to whole clusters of computing, from custom applications where I have to spend a lot of money and time to write mine to the idea I can just grab one of these off the web and configure it and load and go. From proprietary data and proprietary systems to open data and shared services in the network, the sort of nervous system of the planet. From 2D features to 3D features, from straightforward spatial analysis that many of us learned to the whole world of space-time and big data analytics, and from making maps and cartography with a computer to using the power of the computer to help us create better maps and tell better stories. Smart mapping. ArcGIS's capabilities are advancing, and I would like to go deep on just a few of these to give you an insight. You'll be in sessions and hear from others that'll do it better than me about some of these capabilities and what they mean to you. But let's start with this one, data management, the sort of foundation of ArcGIS. Here, we're making lots of improvements in editing, in ArcGIS Pro, 3D editing, topology, COGO, etc., and also supporting new version management environments. We're adding vertical datum support, vertical datum transformation support, and improving workflows, and a whole new utility framework is being added. And then behind the scenes, better support for geodatabase, keeping up with all of what the SQL databases are providing, but also extending the support for data into interesting worlds like SAP HANA. In the field, GIS is going out into the field. Mike Goodchild first introduced this idea to me maybe 20 years ago, Mike. It was something like that. We need to take GIS into the field. It's finally maturing so that the field is getting connected with the office, so that field people can easily collect data, and at the same time, people in the office can be looking at the observations. This was very valuable, by the way, recently in polio in Baghdad, where they were doing immunization, collecting the data, and at the same time at WHO, they were looking at it, analyzing it, understanding, and adapting the surveys. GIS in the field helps us manage field workers. And, well, as you can see, I'm really excited about this notion. The Living Atlas is becoming a major piece of so much of your work. These are ready-to-use maps and data sets that have been compiled by Esri and put out in the form of base maps and imagery and demographics and landscape data. I'm very pleased today to announce a new partnership that we have made with Digital Globe to provide now and into the future the whole planet, their best imagery for the entire planet on an ongoing basis. You're supposed to applaud. Don't you think this is a great idea? The Living Atlas consists of thousands of maps that are ready to use, but it's complemented with millions of contributions. I want to say this carefully, millions of contributions that you're making to enrich each other's work. And also the evidence that this is working, this shared knowledge, is that billions and billions of these maps are made every week. You're using each other's work. In the field of mapping and visualization, we are advancing the tools, supporting smart mapping, smart charting, you'll see some of that this morning, and new tools for data exploration. And in the multi-dimension space, it's not only integrating 3D, but inventing new forms of cartography in 3D and with space-time integration. Earlier this year, we introduced something called multi-scale symbology and also vector tiles. And here, vector tiles are much more than simply having it in the cloud to make interesting maps. In Pro, you can now produce your own vector tiles and implement your data in smart devices that you can take to the field. In production mapping and charting, also improvements are being made. And there are thousands of organizations around the world using these as the standard for topo and maritime and aeronautical charting. This year, we're introducing a new kind of app This is an app that I think will transform understanding using exploration or exploratory analytics. This app is very intuitive, it's very visual, it's very responsive, and responds to actually quite large data sets. This technology will be released later this year. It'll be licensed as a premium solution, both for on-prem and also use online with ArcGIS Online. But also I would like to announce something today, that all people who are ELA users, local, state, and federal, will receive the on-prem version of this without cost. Why this is important is because this is intuitive, interactive technology that the entire organization can use. It's not simply for GIS professionals, it's a kind of spatial intelligence system to analyze all kinds of patterns. And it's easy enough, well, you can see it's easy enough to simply sit down and learn and explore. We're also working on other spatial analysis tools. This is a lot of them here. I won't go through them all, but I'll tell you the ones that I really am in love with. The first one is something called Locate Optimum Regions. This picks out polygons from a suitability surface, like the best place to locate parks or the best place to develop a particular land use activities. And the second one is the landscape corridor selection, which might be used, for example, to pick out optimum wildlife corridors. We're enhancing the spatial statistics dimension and also improving integration with the great open source package called OR. This technology, ladies and gentlemen, has huge implications for us, because it means by building this bridge, ArcGIS users can use the power of R, and also our users can use the power of geospatial databases. On the right of this diagram is a number of two big data analytic tools. These are analyzing massive amounts of data in both raster and vector domains, either from Pro or from browsers. Big data is, as I mentioned earlier, going to be in our face everywhere. How can we spatialize it? How can we take advantage of all this information? Here you see, using parallelized computation, leveraging the spatial domain, we can look at millions of lightning strikes and look at them in space-time in a couple of seconds. Or look at a 40 billion pixel or raster data set like this solar suitability map and carry out analytics that might have taken weeks to compute before in a matter of minutes. This will change the method. Time isn't just, I mean, think about this. Shortening the time window for being able to do complicated problems changes the way we do things. So providing these massively parallelized processing environments will also create new insights, just like Linda's demonstration did. We can take all of the birds and all of the history of bird movements over the entire planet and analyze it at your fingertips. Closely associated with big data is real-time data. And here our work is about streaming in real-time information in high-velocity data streams and being able to process it in-stream to give insights in real time. This is actually the control center at FEMA and also the police department in the city of Seattle. Real-time data is streaming in and giving immediate ability to respond. Obvious applications are in almost every organization. Our work in 3D is also improving capabilities for supporting 3D across the entire platform. New apps like ArcGIS Earth are allowing free access to all of your scientific and other sorts of data around the world. We've made improvements in urban and landscape visualization and the ability to extract buildings, for example, from LiDAR automatically. And then new support for point clouds and a new integrated 3D mesh data type to give realistic visualization. In the lower right is a little animation about 3D WebGIS. It may not mean too much for you until you realize that this is visualization done from a browser accessing 3D visualization coming out of servers. This excites me. It should excite you because it means open access to 3D or in-dimensional time from browsers to everyone. The power of reaching everybody with a full dancing, singing 3D GIS and bringing real-time data into it, it's profound. Imagery is also an enriching and fundamental part of the ArcGIS platform. Here we're improving capabilities for better ortho mapping and image analytics and also image management. You can look across these and find your favorite. But my favorite today is a little application that's being released this week called Drone to Map. This allows you to fly a drone, grab all the imagery, throw it in your desktop, and in a few minutes later, get an ortho map. And 3D point cloud. Isn't that cool? You're supposed to be happy about this one. It's cool, I know. This is going to change the whole spirit of data collection in emergencies, but it's not just emergencies. It's also just capturing information and make it come alive in your own GIS. In the apps space, GIS is opening up with these apps. For the field, like field data collection, I've already shared some of that. Also in the office, the Insights app you just saw an example of. A new one that'll be released shortly is something called Maps for the Adobe Creative Cloud. That means an Adobe user can connect to ArcGIS features and stream in and create really beautiful graphics. And then there's new ones in the community space like, of course, you know the story maps, but there's new ones for crowdsourcing, for photo survey sourcing. It's coming alive. Esri supports a whole library of what we call open source maps and apps. They're apps that are easily configured by you. They're available without cost. We have, I think, 40 people working on these apps that are working with our users, working on their workflows, and then open sourcing them for your applications. Some of you wish to create your own apps, and there's 3 environments to do so in ArcGIS. One is to simply configure a simple web app. Another one is what we call a web app builder. This comes with templates where you can configure quickly an app in minutes or perhaps hours. Here we've made major improvements by bringing in that whole 3D web environment right into the web app builder. And the last one is App Studio. This allows me in my own device to be able to develop an app and then have it recompile itself in something which is not my device. Like if I have an iOS and I want to run it in Android or make it, in other words, I design it once and it can be deployed in Windows or in Android or in iOS like that, taking advantage of the native capabilities. And the evidence that this really works is that in just in the last year, you have deployed over 500,000 of these apps, touching God knows how many people, millions and millions. For developers, ArcGIS can be easily extended and customized and embedded. And here we've made major advancements in the 3D stuff that you've already seen. Also pro customization. And the little orange hexagon here is an extraordinary new thing launched last week, which is code sharing among our users. So you can build code, share it for everybody else to use. This is reminiscent of something we used to call ArcScripts. From the old days, it's reincarnated, and there's already hundreds of code snippets and programs that have been shared in the environment. ArcGIS, by design, is open and interoperable. And the evidence of this is the thousands of implementations of ArcGIS in complex and heterogeneous environments. Now, I want to explain how that's done. We support multiple pathways to ensure this platform is interoperable, one of which is open standards. The second one is strong engineering of product to product. So when you have an AutoCAD product or an Oracle product or an IBM Cognos product or Microsoft's Office, they just plug and work together. No engineering. The third pathway is through open software, supporting open APIs and open access to our databases, having open data support, and also having a well-documented, well-architected foundation of software so you can extend it or you can embed it into other applications. This just works, actually. And it's working by design.